What's up, y'all? You're watching Union Minded. I'm your host, Eric, and today we're going to talk about an accident that happened over the weekend where the owner of a Range Rover in Texas decided it'd be a great idea to run a red light and crash into 20 people sitting along a curb waiting for a bus outside of a homeless shelter, killing, I think it was 8. So I want to talk about it because there is a tactic that is used by the power that runs this country, and it's called racism, and it's used to scapegoat, and it's used to divide working people, and it's used expertly to keep us not working together. And when I say us, I'm talking about working people. I'm talking about people that live in the same class structure. Folks that have to go to work 5 days a week, 4 days a week. Folks that have to work 1 job, 2 job, 3 job, 4 job. Folks that have to bust tail. Folks that are on WIC. Folks that work 60 hours a week and make 6 figures and think of themselves as part of the power structure because they've been propagandized and fooled into thinking that they are part of the power structure, when in reality, if one thing goes wrong, they'll be right back at the bottom with everyone else. There's been an attack using racism for a very, very long time, but now it's starting to get tangible again. You got Florida passing anti-immigration bills targeting Hispanic folks, Latinos, to the point that now from what I hear, because I haven't been to Florida, and I don't know if I'm going back anytime soon, to be honest with you. If what I'm hearing is true though, and I will reach out to my people in Florida to find out for sure. But to know that they're doing things like what Arizona did, where they made it legal for police to just stop Spanish people and ask for papers, like the Gestapo. It's just there's an attack on being Latino in this country, and it's being pushed from one side of the political aisle, and also being pushed from the top, the power structure, down. And it's disgusting, but besides that, it is a direct labor issue. Florida's anti-immigration law that they're pushing now, where they want only documented people working, and they only want documented people to be able to do anything in the state. It's having real world consequences because they're having their job sites abandoned and work is not being done, and it's sending people into hiding. Again, it's a dehumanization. This is really hateful stuff, and it's white supremacy and all of these other things that we all know about. Well, here we go in valleycentral.com. This is a NBC affiliate. I'm gonna read you what happened over the weekend because it's pretty damn gross. It's pretty gross, and then you couple it with everything else that's going on, and it's disgusting. And you think about your workplace and how many Latinos work around you. You understand, Latinos have been a part of this country since the beginning. Matter of fact, Latinos were a part of this country before the gringos got here. Before they ever showed their face over here, Latinos were already here. And so it's doubly disgusting when Latinos open the door welcomingly for the gringos when they came, and have been returned nothing but hate. It's disgusting. But anyway, let's take a look at this article. Local news. BDP. 8 dead, 10 injured when SUV strikes crowd near homeless shelter, by Diana Eva Maldonado. This was posted on the 7th and updated on the 8th. Brownsville, Texas. Bishop Daniel E. Flores of the Catholic Diocese of Brownsville held a mass Sunday night at the Ozanam Center, just steps away from where 8 migrants lost their lives Sunday morning in a crash. Brownsville Mayor Trey Mendez says the death toll has risen to 8 and the number of victims killed when they were run over by a motorist outside the homeless shelter. The incident happened at 8:30 a.m. near Minnesota Road and North Bernal Road in front of the Ozanam Center, which is a shelter for migrants and homeless. One of the victims said they were sitting on the curb near a bus stop when a gray-colored Range Rover slammed into the group. Luis Herrera said he and his friends were waiting to go to the airport when they were hit by the vehicle. We were going to the airport and it happened unexpectedly because a woman in a car passed by and advised us to separate, and moments later the killer was coming in the car gesturing and insulting us, Herrera said. Jesus is another survivor of the crash. He said he had been at the Ozanam Center for 3 days. After traveling from Venezuela, his family had bought him a plane ticket to Utah. We were waiting there and the truck sped through the traffic light, and by the grace of God nothing happened to us, but they did hit the others around us. He said that in Spanish. Brownsville police investigator Martin Sandoval said 7 victims died at the scene and another 10 victims were taken to an area hospital Sunday evening. An 8th person died. The injured parties have gone up to 10. There might be more possibly coming in because we have learned that several of the people that were injured have been transported to several hospitals throughout the valley, so those numbers will be rising. Sandoval said the driver was arrested on charges of reckless driving. He said more charges will be filed likely. He said area residents detained the driver until the police arrived. He said police have not identified the driver because he's being uncooperative and has given several different names, and they're just not sure who he is yet. There's another thing that they said. Now, we don't know the actual cause of the accident. Like I said, it could be 3 different things. 1, he could be intoxication. 2, it could be just an accident. Or 3, it could have been intentional. Brownsville Mayor Trey Mendez released a statement that they have yet to receive any evidence that it was intentional. As we continue to receive information on the tragic incident that occurred today, we have yet to receive evidence that this was an intentional act. Our police department continues with the investigation after apprehending the driver of the vehicle at the scene. The driver has thus far been uncooperative, and it is expected that our police department will hold a press conference tomorrow morning. A woman who happened to drive by the scene told Valley Central she saw several bodies covered in the road, plus another victim put in an ambulance. She also saw several ladies praying nearby. Shelter Director Victor Maldonado of the Bishop Enrique San Pedro Osanam Center told the Associated Press he reviewed the shelter surveillance video on Sunday morning after receiving a call about the crash. The city bus stop is across the street from the shelter and is not marked. There was no bench, and people waiting there were sitting on the curb, Maldonado said. He said most of the victims were Venezuelan men. What we see in the video is just this SUV, a Range Rover, just ran the light that was about 100 feet away and just went through the people who were sitting there in the bus stop, Maldonado said. Now, if you think about it, the man had to run a red light and then mow down these folks. So there was a decision to run a red light and then the decision to mow these folks down. I know we got to find the evidence and everything else, but I don't know. What, the accelerator gets stuck and he had a panic and just drove towards the Spanish people on the curb? He said the SUV flipped after running up on the curb and continued moving about 200 feet. Some people who were walking on the sidewalk about 30 feet away from the main group were also hit. Texas Democratic State Party Chairman Alberto Hinojosa, who is a Brownsville native, said he has no words to describe the anguish and sickness he felt on hearing the news. While the incident is still under investigation, there is no doubt that our state's leaders are painting a target on migrants' backs. Political actors who just want to score points with the absolute worst fringes of society are ginning people up and getting them to hate their fellow brother and sisters, and turning human being against human being, Hinojosa said in a statement. My words will fall on deaf ears, but with all my heart, I hope that Republicans take this moment and use it for even the slightest bit of introspection. Using words like invasion may get you retweets and Fox News hits, but it's also causing real-life carnage. Please, for the love of God, stop the hate mongering. If you don't think this is a working issue, you're not looking around. You got Latinos that work with you. And believe me, we pay attention to the news too. And believe me, all of this hurts. Just as much as the oppression, racism, and hate hurts the black folks that work around you, It hurts us too. Same way it hurts the LGBTQ plus IA community around you. It hurts us too. It's so tiring. But anyway, in solidarity we must stand, because together we can change this country around. Stop falling for the lies. Your lives aren't difficult because Spanish people are in it. Your lives aren't difficult because black people are in it. Your lives aren't difficult because gay people are in it. Your lives are difficult because powerful people have bought and purchased your government and rigged the system in their favor and don't give a flying F about any of you. Even you Confederate flag waving dolts who fall for the racism trick. They don't care about you either. They want you poor also. I just wish everybody would wake up so we can get on the same page and fight back. Anyway, my name's Eric. You're watching Union Minded. Remember, the fight's not left and right. It's up and down. Always has been. It's going to take class solidarity to win always. Each one teach one. Get out there and reach one. And there can be no union without you and I. Front and center. Peace.